Thank you so much, sir, for your kind words of wisdom, for stimulating our grey cells with such important ideas, issues of administration, governance, and education. Thank you so much, sir. Moving on, I would like to invite Professor Brihshpati, Mizoram Central University, Aizawl, Mizoram, to please share his words of wisdom with us. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and guests and friends on both sides of the dais. I have borrowed 60 seconds, so I will try to confine my words into 60 seconds. So first of all, I express my heartfelt gratitude to the organizers and jury for choosing me. Some say today I am the senior most professor of public administration in the country, but today after getting this award, I think I am the junior most student of public administration starting a new journey today. And another word, the name of the award is N.R. Inamdar Award for Excellence in Public Administration. I make it two parts. Who was late lamented N.R. Inamdar? I quote one sentence, you will know why I say so, that today I start a journey as the humble student of public administration. N.R. Inamdar wrote on development administration, district planning, economic planning, sustainability, Indian administration, and what not. One sentence will be sufficient to know how great was late lamented N.R. Inamdar. I bow to his memory. The sentence is, apart from a real economic, social and political implications of unbalanced regional development, economic space affects the pace and structure of economic growth. It has a palliative effect on destructive impact of unplanned economy and also need for sustainability. Last word. किसी ने कहा ये कौन लोग हैं जो इधर उधर घूम रहे हैं, ये उत्कर्ष ढूंढ रहे हैं लोक प्रशासन में. इन सब के लिए, आप लोगों के लिए एक पंक्ति बोलना चाहता हूँ. आँख बंद करके दिल को थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो. आँख बंद करके दिल को थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो, अंदर सारी दुनिया पाओगे. आँख बंद करके दिल को थोड़ा बड़ा कर दो, अंदर सारी दुनिया पाओगे. आँख खोल के देखो, आँख खोल के देखो, सब अपने होंगे, एक भी पराया ना मिलेगा. सब अपने होंगे, एक भी पराया ना मिलेगा. धन्यवाद. थैंक यू. नमस्कार.
Thank you so much, sir. Keeping his promise to 60 seconds, sir has given us such beautiful pearls of wisdom in a short period of time. We were pleased to have you, sir. We were pleased to listen to you. Thank you so much. कार्यक्रम की अगली कड़ी में मैं आमंत्रित करना चाहूंगी सरल, सहज व सकारात्मक व्यक्तित्व के धनी हमारे अपने कला संकाय के अधिष्ठाता श्रीमान के.एल. रैगर साहब से कि वे आए और हम सब के साथ अपने विचार साझा करें.
सम्मानित मंच और सभागार में उपस्थित सभी विद्वज्जन को मेरा प्रणाम. आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र और राजीव गांधी अनुसंधान संस्थान द्वारा सम्मिलित रूप से आयोजित आज के इस अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठी कार्यक्रम के उद्घाटन सत्र के मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में हमारे पास विराजमान है न्यायमूर्ति एन.एम. माथुर साहब, जिनका सच्चा वक्तव्य है हमें अभी सुनने को मिला, मैं उनको प्रणाम करता हूँ। प्रोफेसर मनरूप सिंह जी, सम कुलपति इग्नू, श्री रामेश्वर जी सेवार्थी जो बहुत बड़े समाज सेवक हैं, प्रोफेसर S.N. अम्बेडकर नेपासी के अध्यक्ष, प्रोफेसर सौड़ी साहब, इंद्रजीत सिंह सौड़ी साहब, और इस कार्यक्रम के कर्ता धर्ता भाई डॉक्टर जनक जी। सभागार में बहुत से आचार्यगण विराजमान हैं और भारत के विभिन्न क्षेत्रों से आप आए हैं। तो इस सेमिनार में आज पूरे भारत का प्रतिनिधित्व है। राजस्थान के कई जिलों से यहाँ पर प्रतिभागीगण पधारे हैं। मैं विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से उन सबका आभार प्रकट करता हूँ, उनका स्वागत करता हूँ, क्योंकि अब इस शीतकाल में आना भी जोखिम से कम नहीं। लेकिन लगा कि जनक जी का जो स्नेह है वो हम सबको खींच करके ले आया। विद्वज्जन, मैं बता देना चाहता हूँ, इस गोष्ठी की संकल्पना 6 माह पूर्व जनक जी ने कर दी थी, क्योंकि अभी मेरे पास अधिष्ठाता का चार्ज है, तो हर ये बात मुझसे शेयर करते हैं। इसकी संकल्पना बनाई तो इन्होंने कहा कि आदिवासी सेंटर द्वारा हम ये कार्यक्रम करेंगे। 1 वर्ष 1 महीना और 4 दिन इस आदिवासी सेंटर को स्थापित हुए हो गए। और मैं आपको जानकारी देना चाहता हूं कि लगभग ये 11वां ऐसा अद्भुत कार्यक्रम है जो अभी कोविड पीरियड के बाद में विश्वविद्यालय में नहीं हुआ। तो खतरे लेना, खतरों को उठाना, ये काम जनक जी कर सकते हैं। और ये उन्होंने आज ये जो इतने सारे लोगों को, देश विदेश के लोगों को जोड़ा, कई लोग विदेश के भी प्रोफेसर हैं, वो भी आज हमारे बीच में यहाँ पर विराजमान है। तो ये इनके अद्भुत कला संयोजन और ये मैं कहूँगा कि इसको मैनेजमेंट, लोक प्रबंधन का ये एक तरह से नमूना है। और जिस लोक प्रबंधन को लेकर के ये संगोष्ठी कर रहे हैं, तो बिना जोखिम उठाए ये नहीं हो सकती। इतने सारे लोगों को एक साथ जोड़ना और लोक प्रशासन में विभिन्न क्षेत्रों में काम करने वाले विद्वानों का अलग अलग रूप में सम्मान करना, कोई टीचर के रूप में, कोई शोध के रूप में, तो ये इनकी व्यापक दृष्टि का परिणाम है कि किस तरह से एकेडमिक रूप में अपनी सोच रखते हैं। मैं इनको बहुत प्रोत्साहित करता हूँ। जब भी ये मेरे पास में किसी काम के लिए आते हैं या वैसे भी मैं इनको बुला लेता हूँ, तो मैं इनसे प्रेरणा लेता हूँ। उम्र में यद्यपि मेरे से छोटे हैं, लेकिन इनका जो अनुभव क्षेत्र है, आप देख रहे हैं यहाँ पर जो विराजमान है, बिना संपर्क में कोई नहीं आता जोखिम उठा करके, और ये व्यक्तिगत संपर्क के कारण ही आते हैं। आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र में आप जाकर के देखें, मैंने तो इनको छोटा सा कक्ष ही दिया था क्योंकि सीमित मात्रा में कक्ष थे, लेकिन जब इसकी संकल्पना हो रही थी आदिवासी, तो मेरे मन में एक पीड़ा थी वो कि इस तरह से काम होना चाहिए। सेंटर बनेगा तो कहाँ, तो मैंने कक्षा रूम को बचा करके इस सेंटर के लिए रखा कि ये सेंटर यदि खुलता है तो ये कक्ष वहाँ दिया जाएगा। उस सेंटर को देखने का मौका आपको दिया जाएगा, देखेंगे तो उस कक्ष में घुसते कुछ अलग तरह का अनुभव आपको होता है। बिना किसी विश्वविद्यालय के 1 पैसे की सहायता के, बच्चों की पैसों की रोना, अभी भी कह रहे थे जनक जी कि पैसा मुझे मिला नहीं, अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठी का 5-7 लाख रुपए खर्च होंगे और उसका जोखिम उठा देना। तो टेंट वाला आया तो क्या इनके विश्वास के कारण आया, भोजन वाला आया तो इनके विश्वास, ट्रैफिक जो भी कुछ है इनके विश्वास के कारण आया। और सोडी जी पैसा करेंगे लेकर के आ गए या रास्ते में चल रहा है तो वो सब जनक जी मिल जाएगा। और कोशिश करते हैं कि इनकी फाइलें इधर होती है तो मैं कोशिश करता हूँ, सिंडिकेट मेंबर भी हूँ, जनक जी पूछा कहाँ पर अटकी तो उसको आगे बढ़ाने की हम कोशिश भी करते हैं। जनक जी के अध्ययन केंद्र से ही जुड़ी हुई डॉक्टर अनीता राठी को सीनियर फेलोशिप मिली है। ये आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र की उपलब्धि है। और सीनियर फेलोशिप का मतलब होता है प्रोफेसर एमरिटस के बराबर उसको फेलोशिप मिलना। तो आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र में बहुत ही गौरव की बात है। और जब मैं इनके प्लान के बारे में इनसे सुनता हूँ तो जनक जी ने कहा कि ये अध्ययन केंद्र इतना काम नहीं कर सकता, उसको विभाग बनाने की आवश्यकता है। और मैं आपको जानकारी देना, उस विभाग की तरफ हमने कदम बढ़ाना शुरू कर दिया है। कल हमने की मेरे को मतलब इतना लगा वैसी तरह की दृष्टि से कि मैंने स्पेशल मीटिंग बुला करके कल ही जनक जी कल ही रखवाया है आपके उस विभाग को भी आगे बढ़ाने का। आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र एक विभाग के रूप में स्थापित हो, हम उसको पास करके यहाँ वैधानिक बॉडी से और हम उसको राज्य सरकार तक हम प्रेषित करें तो व्यापक रूप से जिस तरह से करें कि वो निर्णय लेने की क्षमता नहीं होती, एक अध्यक्ष एक डायरेक्टर क्या करे। तो जब विभाग बनेगा तो कई तरह के जो कार्य हैं उसमें होंगे और व्यापक रूप से अध्ययन किया जाएगा। तो आज उसी आदिवासी अध्ययन केंद्र के बैनर तले आपने ये अंतर्राष्ट्रीय संगोष्ठी की। मेरे से पूर्व विद्वान वक्ताओं ने बहुत सारी बातें कह दी और क्योंकि कुलपति महोदय किसी काम से बाहर हैं, हम उनके आशीर्वाद से ही सब कुछ हो रहा है। तो मुझे कहा कि हाँ एक चीज़ और बता दूँ, विषम परिस्थितियों में किस तरह से काम किया जा सकता है। जनक जी से आप कितना मतलब सब लोग जानते हैं उस स्थिति को, उसके बावजूद भी डटा हुआ व्यक्ति एकेडमिक। मैं यहाँ आने से पहले कलकत्ता में राजभाषा में था और मेरा सर OTS हुआ था, ऑफिस ट्रेनिंग सेंटर। पहला ही उसमें वाक्य पहले दिन का पहले ही उसमें कहा गया था कि संस्था आपकी माँ और बाप है। और उसको इस शख्स ने चरितार्थ करके बता दिया कि परिवार है या और कुछ है जो वो इनके लिए दैत्विक है, सेकेंडरी है। वो कहा नहीं जा सका, वो बता दिया कि भाई बीमार है, हम सबको पीड़ा है, बड़ा कष्ट झेल रही। उन सब के बावजूद मैं भी क्या बहुत कम सोता हूँ और उस अनिद्रा का मुझे जो फ़ायदा हुआ ये हुआ कि जब चाहे उठा करके किताबें इधर उधर सराहने रखी रहती है तो उनको पढ़ लो या फिर आजकल तो ये सोशल मीडिया उसको देख लो। मैंने जब भी फ़ोन 11:30 बजे ऑफ किया, जब मैंने पहली बार 1:30 बजे टला, जनक जी का मैसेज आया कि सर आपको अध्यक्षता करनी है। ये बंधु 1:30 बजे जग रहा था। फिर मेरे नींद आई, 4 बजे फिर मैं जगा, फिर अपडेट, फिर वो पूरा उसका शेड्यूल। अंदाज़ा लगा लीजिए कि किस तरह का लोग मतलब प्रशासन ये कर रहे हैं। नींद को गंवा करके एक तरफ श्रीमती की चिंता, एक तरफ इस पूरे सेमिनार को किस तरह से ऑर्गेनाइज करने की चिंता। तो एक ऐसा अच्छा लोक प्रशासक ही ये एक तरह से कर सकता है। मैं लोक प्रशासक का विद्यार्थी नहीं हूँ, साहित्य का विद्यार्थी हूँ, लेकिन कुछ चीज़ें जब इस तरह की आती है तो उनसे मैं जान जाता हूँ कि ये चीज़ें एक कुशल लोक प्रशासक ही कर सकता है। और जिसमें अपने वर्ग के लिए कुछ करने का मादा हो, जिसमें संवेदनशीलता हो, जैसा कि अभी मिजोरम वाले कहा था कि आंख बंद रखी जाए और दिल को विस्तृत व्यापक रखा जाए, तो ही हम स्वच्छ और संवेदनशील लोक प्रशासन दे सकते, जिसका न्यायमूर्ति साहब ने बड़ा स्पष्ट, मुझे जब कोई स्पष्ट बात करता है मुझे बड़ा अच्छा लगता है। गोल मोल बातें क्यों करूँ। तो मैकाले पर टिप्पणी हम करते हैं तो मैं तो कहना चाहूँगा कि उन हाशिए के लोगों को मौका दिया तो वो मैकाले की शिक्षा पद्धति नहीं दिया। वो कितनी दोष हो सकते हैं, लेकिन हमें वो तो मानना पड़ेगा, आसिया के लोग जो दलित है, आदिवासी है, स्त्री है, उनको पढ़ने का मौका ये हमारी उस प्राचीन उस व्यवस्था ने नहीं दिया। मुझे कहने में कोई परहेज नहीं है, प्राचीन व्यवस्था ने तो हमारे द्वार बंद कर दिया। आसिया के लोगों को पढ़ने का मौका उस मैकाले शिक्षा पद्धति ने दिया, और उसी कारण बाबा साहब डॉक्टर अंबेडकर विदेश में पढ़ सके, नहीं तो वो नहीं पढ़ पाते। तो दोष किसी व्यवस्था में हो सकता है, हमारी व्यवस्था में भी हो सकता है। तो हमें उनका एक तटस्थ होकर के मूल्यांकन करना चाहिए। यही सच्चा लोक प्रशासन हमें सिखाता है। और उसके कारण बाबा साहब ने पढ़ाई के कारण संविधान बना, और संविधान के कारण ही ये जो सारी व्यवस्था आई लोक प्रशासन की। नहीं, पहले तो राजशाही शासन था, राजा जिस तरह का फरमान जारी करता था वही उनका एक तरह से ब्रह्मवाक्य हो जाया करता था। तो जो कुछ ही लोक प्रशासन में उत्तरोत्तर आया सुधार और संवेदनशीलता आई, वो बाबा साहब के बनाए और के साथ जुड़े हुए अन्य लोग थे, उनके बनाए हुए संविधान के कारण ही आई। एक एक अनुच्छेद को आप उठा करके देखिए। अब बनाते समय उन्होंने कह भी दिया था कि संविधान को लागू करने वाले की उस ईमानदारी पर निर्भर करेगा कि संविधान कितना ही अच्छा हो। यदि लागू करने वाले की संदेह है तो कितना भी अच्छा संविधान वो एक तरह से रद्दी का टोकरा हो सकता है। तो ये हम पर निर्भर करता है। और भारत के संविधान की उद्देशिका का पहला वाक्य ही जो उन्होंने कहा, हम भारत के लोग, तो टोटलिटी में बात करते हैं। वो एक किसी धर्म के बारे में या किसी एक जाति विशेष के बारे में बात नहीं करते। तो लोक प्रशासन एक इस तरह का संवेदनशील होना चाहिए। क्योंकि हमारे मीटिंग है, वो सारा दबाव, बहुत सारी चीज़ें कही जा सकती है, लेकिन मैं नहीं कहूँगा। अध्यक्ष से उद्बोधन औपचारिक मात्र ही होता है एक तरह से। लेकिन अगले जो वक्ता आएंगे, अलग अलग सत्रों में जो बात करेंगे, लोक प्रशासन के विभिन्न पहलुओं को लेकर के बात करेंगे, और जो चीज़ें सूत्र रूप में या विद्वान वक्ताओं ने कही उन पर बात की जाएगी, और हम मंथन करेंगे। और वास्तव में फिर आज़ादी के 75 वर्ष में अमृतकाल, जिसको आज कहा गया है हमारे माननीय प्रधानमंत्री द्वारा, तो अमृतकाल तभी आएगा जब हम संवेदनशील बनेंगे। आपने मुझे सुनने का मौका दिया, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। जय भारत।
आपकी इस ओजस्वी उद्बोधन के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। हमारी आज की कॉन्फ्रेंस के डायरेक्टर के बारे में अधिष्ठाता महोदय ने बहुत सारी बातें बताई, और इसी से मुझे अमृता प्रीतम जी की कुछ पंक्तियाँ याद आती हैं कि यह एक शाप है, यह एक वर है, और जहाँ भी आज़ाद रूह की झलक पड़े, समझना वह मेरा घर है। Taking the inaugural session of the International Conference on Public Administration in India at the 75th year of independence, changes and challenges towards its close, I hereby invite Professor I.A.S. Sodhi, Head Department of Public Administration, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, for giving away the vote of thanks. Please, sir.
I am thankful to all the dignitaries and delegates who have graced this International Conference on Public Administration in India, 75 years of independence, changes and challenges. For organization, Aadiwasi Study Center, Narain Vyas University, Jodhpur, Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Government of India, Tamil Nadu, Shri Perambudur, ICSSR Delhi and Nepal. So I believe that whenever any program is conducted in collaboration, so definitely it will achieve a very good, successfully to and achieve all the objectives which have been enshrined. All the dignitaries, I am thankful Honorable Justice N.N. Mathur, who was the former Vice Chancellor in the Judicial University, Law University in Jodhpur, and former judge in High Court of Jodhpur. Through his address, he tried to bring the youth stream so that they can understand how they can work for the governance. In so simple, I salute him. Professor Manroop Singh, I met last time when we conducted one program in Jaipur. He is so simple. Through historical development, he has touched upon some issues. So we believe we have to think over how we can maintain our traditions and culture. Without, we cannot think about public administration and governance. Definitely, these all issues play important role in the formulation of public policy in India. I am thankful, sir. Professor S.N. Ambedkar, President of NEPASI, is running this organization since a long time. He is attached. And we always get some good guidelines whenever there is issue related to any public administration and allied. Professor Rajesh ji, also Vice President of NEPASI, is here. So that is good. If all the members and dignitaries, authority person of organizations come, definitely it leads to good. I am thankful to Professor K.L. Srivastava, Honorable Vice Chancellor of Narain Vyas University, Jodhpur, and Professor Shivnath Dev, Honorable Director, Rajiv Gandhi's National Institute of Youth Development. We have organizing this conference in their absentia and with their good wishes. Just now, Professor K.L. Raigar, with so simple words he highlighted, so we have to learn with simplicity how we can give our views which cannot hurt anyone, but all should agree. So I am thankful to sir. And we talk about what the issues are there which we are going to discuss. Within these 2 days, there will be some plenary session as well as one keynote speaker, Professor Prabhat Datta, who is authority on public administration. So definitely it will lead to good, that means deliberation for the futures. In absentia, I am thankful Professor Partha Sarthi, who has done a lot of work on public administration. He helped in development of he was the founding chairperson, head Department of Public Administration, Central University of Jammu. Professor Krishna K. Tumalla, Professor Manoj Dixit, former Vice Chancellor in Faizabad, Dr. Ramanol Loya, Awadh University. Professor P.S. Bhatnagar and Professor Ramesh Arora both played important role in the development of the Department of Public Administration, University of Rajasthan. In absentia, I am thankful to them. I am thankful to all the other dignitaries who are present here. Professor B.S. Bhuman, former Vice Chancellor, Punjab University, Patiala. Professor Nilima Deshmukh, Professor Pathiji, Professor Suresh Goel, my former supervisor under whom guidance I have done my PhD, as well as Professor Preeta Joshi and Professor Sangeeta Sharma. After long years of gap, I am meeting them personally. I am very much grateful and thankful to you with your kindness. Professor Bhawan, I met only few years when Janak introduced. He is so humble. We cannot think of it. Always smiling. So I like those persons who are always smiling. Whatever you are hurt, you have pain, but you do not express. Even like Dr. Janak. His wife, since last more than 10 days, is an ICU. But there is no pain, no agony. So that's the work he shows. We have to learn. Every day blood is being transfused to her. But that is the humanity. We cannot go into one side because we are living in society. We have to interact with everyone and everyone should go with happiness. So we have to learn. I'm thankful my younger brother, Professor Chetri, Durga Prasad Chetri, who has come from Sikkim University. And this conference, people have come from all corners of India, whether Mizoram University, extreme northeast, or Central University of Kerala, or Madras Christian College, Chennai, Tamil Nadu. So I believe that this conference will definitely would lead to more good result, and I am seeing here Department of Public Administration and Department of Political Science in this university, Professor Kanta and Professor Meena, both are here. I am thankful to them कि they are encouraging us for this international conference. I am thankful to Professor Ranit Kaur, Punjabi University, Patiala, कि she has come along with her research scholars and students. My dear brother, Professor Poonamdeep Singh ji and others, Principal Munak College, Government, Rajendra Singh ji, Professor, he is here, I am happy, as well as Dr. Daljit Kaur. So these all, whenever our younger brothers, sisters come, it gives us encouragement and support. Through that we work. And this time, first time in my any conference outside of this my place, I have come with my good team, around 15 students have come. Earlier I was more than around 6 years I was in Tamil Nadu. Now last 20 days I have my department and myself along with staff had been transferred to Chandigarh. I belong to Jaipur. I feel very proud that I belong to Rajasthan, because still Rajasthan is rich in food, habit and culture. I am proud because that gives us a good spirit. I belong to nature, I like nature. So, our institute, I want to take 2 minutes, my institute. Our institute conduct a number of programs beside teaching every month or 2 months. Like UGC. UGC gives some funds. Our institute also gives funds to all the institute and university, whether it colleges or university. TOT, Training of Trainers program, we give some funds. That is 3 days, 5 days, 2 days we give fund. As well as some funds we give to organize conferences and seminars. So I have conducted more than 10 conferences, fully sponsored. 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 5 lakh, 6 lakh we gave on for conducting conferences. I have conducted 5 conferences. Last month I have conducted conferences with Professor Durga Prasad Chetri, Head Department of Political Science, Sikkim Central University. Besides that, I have conducted conference this year also in May in Mizoram University in Department of Management Studies. No doubt I belong to public administration, but any other department whichever I doesn't think over, I am ready to collaborate. So only few faculty think over, I am conduct maximum program on behalf of my RGNIYD Institute. So I invite all of you, suppose you think any issue is important, you think you want to conduct program, so I will try my best if some funds may be granted from our institute to your respective institute, universities or colleges. Regarding grants, Janak was trying to pinch. So regarding that I want to say, his proposal was accepted 3 months before. My brother Durga Prasad Chetri proposal was accepted only 10 days before his conference. He got fund not only 50%, 100% fund. But for Janak it took time. I don't know. Sometime issue. But I am looking that this conference is going very well organized. So I believe that now no fund is needed. So with that fund which is coming on Monday or Tuesday, he can conduct another conference. I believe so. Because this conference he is managing himself. So I believe one more conference he can organize. But no problem. By Monday evening or Tuesday, 101% fund, because file has gone to bank. So tomorrow is Saturday and 4th Saturday, fund may not come, but fund will come. And most probably in January last or February 1st, we are planning to organize one conference in Chandigarh, my institute, in collaboration with Punjab University Chandigarh. I talked yesterday with Professor P.S. Goman. He told me with 3 organizations or 4 organizations, our institute, RGNIYD, Punjab University Chandigarh, Department of Public Administration, IAP Regional Branch, Chandigarh, as well as he ensured that we can also collaborate with ICSSR, 4 organizations. So one conference I am going to organize, and one more conference I may organize few days before. I have discussed with Professor Om Melaji, so my parent department, Department of Public Administration, University of Rajasthan. Most probably I am going to organize this conference second, and one conference was proposed in other 2-3 places with Central University of Jharkhand, but I think that may not be conducted. So that I will conduct with Punjab University Patiala or some other institute. So this by March we are going to organize 3-4 conference, as well as some other program like training of trainers on environment governance in Srinagar. Next month I am going to organize. So there are many programs on pipeline. So I believe with collaboration we will conduct all programs. So I am thankful against to all the delegates, all the dignitaries. With their good wishes we are able to conduct, and I always believe that whenever students are there, my blood flow only for student. My family also knows. Like Janak, I give more time to my student. My 22 years of teaching, I never scolded any student. Whatever wrong thing or good thing, my smile, my heart is for the student, I believe. With them, I get the encouragement. I am also thankful to both the anchorer who very nicely, Dr. Himlata Joshi and Dr. Devbhu, those Vivabhut, both have nicely conducted anchoring. So they are giving, sparing their time valuable. I am thankful to you. And Dr. Sumitra Square, my brother Suresh Verma, as well as Rakesh Verma, all are here. So all they are come here to support, and some work behind the curtain. Mahesh Gotwalji and Dr. Ramchandra. He is like a foundation pillar. He is always 24 hours. So I am great salute to him. Badrinath Jar also. I am looking him since a long times. Always working very sincerely, dedicatedly. So only with teams sometimes other people do not know. They work silently, very silently. And I am looking my brother from University Sirsa has come also, Dean, former Dean and Head of Department is here, as well as Sahela and T. Shavanith, both Associate Professor, they have also come. So I cannot count the name of all one by one person, but I encourage all the faculty always have a smile and do work sincerely, because we have to work. Sometimes we think ki why this work. So sometimes some people are not satisfied with organization. Then I say, whether you want to leave, then they say ki no or other opportunity. Then wherever you are, work happily. Whenever other opportunity go, then think over. But before that, wherever you are, work happily with smiling. So good wishes. I believe definitely we will do something. I am thankful to Professor Mamta Mukta. She has come from Shimla, took some pain. I also wanted to conduct some program, but there is winter vacation is going, so I will conduct with her either April. And my younger brother Dr. Sandeep, Central University of Karnataka, he has come. Last time I conducted one program in RGNIYD Shri Parambagu. He also came along with the team, and as well as Professor Parda Sathi was there. So today I am missing. So I believe next time whenever I conduct program Jaipur and Chandigarh, so more and more delegation will come. So I believe all of you give their good support. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for a very positive word of thanks. Word of thanks are supposed to be the endings of programs, but sir's word of thanks is very positive with a lot of promise for future conferences. Thank you so much, sir. I would also like to announce, I have a very good news that NEPASI, that is the New Public Administration Society of India, is pleased and happy to give the award for the best public administration department to Rajiv Gandhi National Institute of Youth Development. A big round of applause, please, ladies and gentlemen. A little louder. Thank you. May I now request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. I would like to request all our professors in the front row to please come near the desk for a group photo. I, from this podium, wish you days of learning and academic enrichment. Have great learning. See you all the best.
Yes.
शिवाजी सर, प्रोफेसर आओ, जल्दी आओ बेटा, आओ शिवाजी, प्रोफेसर आओ, शिवाजी आओ, सोच क्यों रहे हो?
In France, the study was conceived almost entirely in professional terms, and significantly, the study of public administration in the USA, unlike the study of public administration in our country, had undergone changes in its focus and dimensions at different points of time, largely in response to the changing socio-economic context and concerns clogged with the perceptions about the changing role of the state. It is evident from the evolution of the discipline, starting from scientific management to the modern, what is called new public governance. It is now established that the modern full-fledged study of public administration did not begin in USA. It had begun around the 20th century, and it was the United Kingdom where the study first began in the full-fledged form, and it was 1922 when the first Royal Institute of Public Administration was set up. That was the beginning of the full-fledged study of public administration should be taken to have started with the setting up of the Royal Institute of Public Administration in London in 1922. And in Chicago, there had come into being what is called a Hull House. That was the beginning of the full-fledged public administration study in Chicago, and subsequently it was in New York. They have set up New York Bureau of Municipal Research. In Australia, they had also set up, taking inspiration from the USA, a sort of branch of the Royal Institute of Public Administration, and that was in 1937. And following the World War, the study of public administration became important. because a lot of issues had started drawing attention of the scholars, and it was at that time the multidisciplinary perspectives gathered momentum in the study of public administration. With this brief background in mind, I would like to take the distinguished members of the audience to our country. Public administration as a field of intellectual inquiry began with US funding and with the advice and services offered by the US experts. We all know about that. It was R2B. Interestingly, this was similar to the situation in Nepal as well as in Pakistan. Chiefly with the backing of the American experts and the Ford Foundation scholars, the Indian state had decided to set up a national body, IIPA, for the purpose of conducting primary training programs along with faculty development and research on public administration. It brought a new sense of enthusiasm and provided powerful impetus for opening independent public administration departments in different universities of our country, but unfortunately, neither the UPSC nor the UGC had given the recognition. As expected in the early years, public administration discipline in our country had grown largely under the heavy influence of the American scholars and its two parent disciplines. One was political science and the other was economics. There is a view that the lack of analytical skill among some of the first generation scholars led to a production of huge material without any analytical rigor. Material was primarily produced for the purpose of feeding the interests of the new generation scholars and the trainees. Presumably, it was difficult at that particular point of time to think of doing analytical research because the demand was different. Therefore, they had responded to the demand. The matter was taken note of by the first study of the ICSSR, where it was mentioned that the academic strength of discipline was lacking. The continued domination of the American paradigms led to the loss of the focus of the discipline in the context of our situation. The next survey report, authored by Narain and Mathur, cautioned against the descriptive teaching of organizations and formal legal institutions and underscored the need for developing interdisciplinary linkages to develop a comprehensive perspective. From the very start, public administration discipline, as the great scholar Professor Mohit Bhattacharya had repeatedly reminded us, busied itself with practical action intended to repair and reinvigorate administration without caring for adequate understanding of the context and the environmental conditions of such actions. Nor has there been any explicit effort to examine the social consequences of administrative actions. Some scholars like Deva had taken a different kind of position. He had argued that the Western theories, or the so-called American theories, were primarily intended to legitimize and maintain the existing exploitative social system. And the entire administrative organizations were tuned to that direction. Unfortunately, we, the scholars in India, had forgotten to understand the hidden agenda of the American theories. That is the position taken by the great scholar like Deva. But in our country, we did not want our capitalist system, the pre-capitalist system that we had, to get strengthened. We wanted a different kind of social system that was clearly mentioned in the preamble to the Constitution of India. We wanted to have a social order where there will be justice, social, economic and political. We wanted to have a social order where there will be equality. We wanted to have a social order we should be socialist. Therefore, we needed a different kind of perspective, a different kind of paradigm. But unfortunately, the scholars in those days did not take that into account seriously. Bureaucracy was perceived by the Indian state immediately after independence as the harbinger of social change, as the Bhogirab who will bring the God down on earth. The mistake we have made, because bureaucracy has never been in history been active in bringing about social change. Bureaucracy has always in favor of protecting the power. We have again made a mistake by taking bureaucracy as the Bhogirab. Now we have another situation. I will now talk about the globalized world and the implications of this globalized world for the students of public administration like me. The globalization process has impacted all aspects of human life, no matter whether political, administrative, cultural, economic, or any aspect of human life we talk about. It has affected very badly the marginalized sections of our population, the poor, the down and out. It has touched all academic disciplines, no matter whether it's physics, chemistry, political science, public administration, psychology, or sociology. The implications of globalization for social sciences are immense, and they challenge the very survival and sustenance of the discipline. My respected friends, I would like to underline that they are challenging the survival of the discipline like public administration. Why and how, I will be explaining that. A vast area of emerging issues such as anti-terrorism, natural and human disasters, epidemic like the recent pandemic, economic crisis, energy and environmental problems, ethnic conflicts are all globally interconnected nowadays. It is not that we have in India. There is a global interconnection of what is happening around the globe. Therefore, the problems that I mentioned have global linkages. Even problems in the territorial domestic policy realms, such as public transportation, information management, defense, security, have been pushed across the national boundaries. We talk of Ola, Uber, that is our transportation system, but international boundaries, international transport management, managers are controlling our transport management systems. Therefore, we need to build up a new kind of perspectives, to capture them, to understand them, and to analyze them. The emergence of new world order, manifested by the rising power of the European Union on the one hand, and the transitional and developing countries like ours on the other hand, suggests inadequacy and obsolescence of the public administration framework, predominantly under the control of the Americans, predominantly developed by the Americans. China is also emerging as an important global power. We need innovative theoretical perspectives to capture, analyze the changing nature and the dimension of the administrative practices around these countries. The rationale of global economic reform is to reduce the state to what is called minimalist state. Precisely speaking, it means initiating policies for deregulation, privatization, lowering taxation. Throughout the era of economic liberalization around the globe, from 1978 to 2007, a significant amount of governmental power has been transferred to the technocrats who are carefully buffered from the elected officials. Depoliticization of administration, which is embedded in the concept of good governance, popularized by the World Bank, has been accepted by countries like ours without looking into the purpose for which the concept was developed by the World Bank around 90s and around 1960s. Good governance, I wrote an article in in administrative change are doing the good governance is nothing but a second generation development administration. India's development paths during the post-independence period have undergone changes in their approaches. Namely, we started with growth with trickle down 1947 to 1969. Then our development model was growth to social justice 1970-1990. Then new economic reforms 1991 to 2004. Now economic reforms with human face 2005 to 2015. Then faster pro-market reforms 2019 onwards. These are the changes in our policies. Have we been able to respond to the changes in our policy? That is the question before us. The present government approach to the development is a minimum government but maximum governance. There is a paradigm shift from public welfare, democracy, popular participation governance to individual welfare, privatization, disinvestment in public sector. Time has come to raise questions about the usefulness of this model in our country, where poverty is rampant, illiteracy widespread, marginalization is beyond imagination. Social issues, crime, social issues keep us concerned day in and day out. Pandemic has given a very big blow to the primary foundation of the so-called liberal state, a neoliberal state. It seems to have brought the state back in around the globe. In our country, the battle was fought by the state and the institutional outfits down the line with the active support of the civil society and the market to fight against the epidemic. The studies, in fact, I wrote a long article recently in Indian Journal of Public Administration, where I argued that we have been able to win the battle with reference to the case of Kerala, because the state had collaborated with what we call the civil society organizations, and the market had also extended their helping hands. That was the point that I am trying to argue, that state has become very important, more particularly after the epidemic. And Kerala has become successful in the first phase because Kerala has a state-sponsored, effective public health infrastructure and very strong, vibrant democratic system at villages, along with active civil society organizations. The globalized context has drifted the social science disciplines from their original mandate. Original mandate was development of philosophical framework and reducing knowledge to monocratic form. That is what has globalization taught us. Market forces are dictating epistemological agenda, and the relative autonomous position of the social science hitherto enjoyed is gradually declining. The universities are designing courses to suit the needs of the market, giving priority to science and technology. Since 1960s, there has been a significant decrease in the budget allocation of the social science disciplines around the country. Some scholars think that there is a subtle conspiracy against a particular type of social science discourse that raises issues about underprivileged, nature of hegemony of the international agencies, the epistemological and pedagogical positions of the social science disciplines are declining. This changing context is undermining the foundations of public administration discipline as well as profession. Let me now quickly focus on the kind of challenges that we are facing and what, according to my perception, the silver linings in the given situation. First, to survive as a vibrant and active social science discipline, the scholars of public administration have to be sensitive to the burning issues of social change and challenges of economic development. In our country, neoliberal policy has created a new set of problems for the down and out and the marginalized sections of our population. Pandemic has added fuel to the fire. Public administration in India has to respond to the new agenda emerging from social scene such as child labor, gender justice, equality, social equity, human rights, environmental protection, concern for the physically challenged, old age, transgender. These are some of the specimens of these new social issues to which the public administration scholars cannot shut their eyes. They need to be studied as a part of public administration. We envision a transformed public administration that views the scope of all public issues in diverse national and ethno-demographic context. Unlike the natural sciences, public administration and other social science disciplines are essentially ethical sciences. At the university level, what is needed is that discipline should be sensitive to social crisis and radical enough to analyze the myths and realities of the changing context and implications for the common people and suggest methods of social transformation. There is a school of thought which believes that our state has in recent times been dealing with dissenters and protesters aggressively. The recent case is the case of how the farmers are dealt with outside, the boundary of New Delhi, the capital of our state. The repressive colonial laws against the state are still being used to tame the dissenters and protesters. Even the judiciary has been raising these issues. The state is trying to increase its repressive strength by creating new bodies like the National Counter-Terrorism Center, apparently for dealing with what is called terrorism. It's high time, according to my personal opinion, to appoint a committee to study and identify the anachronistic colonial laws, and all efforts should be made to send them to the graves. They are no longer relevant to our post-Indian situation. Of late, there are scholars who have started arguing that constitutional democracy. In fact, a couple of days ago, I was moderating an international seminar where Professor Tumalla was strongly arguing that constitutional democracy in India is in a very big crisis. He is not here. He would have supported me, what he had said in that conference. The opposition has been raising high hue and cry about the curtailment of the powers of the state, throwing a challenge to the constitutional structure of federalism, increasing criminalization of the political processes, dwindling opposition, coupled with erosion of ethical values in governance, appear to be posing a big threat to our constitutional democracy. We need to study the impact of the issues and forces on the dynamics of governance in our country. The members of the judiciary and the bureaucracy are joining hands immediately after retirement, or sometime before retirement, or on the eve of retirement, to join politics. This has been a new phenomenon. You must have seen some of the members of the judiciary, some of the members of the bureaucracy are retiring or taking what they call premature retirement to join politics. If that happens, then the question of the very foundation of liberal democracy will be in danger, because liberal democracy is based on distinction between the judiciary and the executive. Therefore, time has come for the younger scholars, not the senior elderly scholars like me, to come out and to get together in USA when Vietnam War was taking place, when the fight with the blacks and whites had gained a new dimension, when the students are getting aggressive in the campuses, the younger scholars got together under the umbrella of what they call new public administration, and they have started raising questions about the public administration issue. I believe time has come when we should go for what is called what they call the new Philadelphia model of conference in India. And I'm sure Netashi can be a sort of torchbearer in guiding the younger ones to get together and to raise questions about what is happening and how to analyze them. The academic pursuits of public administration should be centered around locating public institutions and understanding their functioning within the framework of the broader theory of state. We have been arguing repeatedly, some of scholars like me and Professor Mohit Bhattacharya, we have been arguing repeatedly in many of our writings that we forget to take note of the theory of state while explaining the institutions of government. Government cannot be understood with reference to the theory of state. And of late, theory of state is also undergone a basic change. We cannot understand the theory of state properly without reference to the market and the civil society. Therefore, we need to understand them properly to locate and analyze the institutions of governance in our country. Our state has recently adopted, I am sure all of you have seen, a policy of what is called lateral entry from the market. This is a new dimension in public administration. Market people will be coming and working with the government. Market people were trained differently. They didn't have any welfare orientation when they are working with the market. These people are being brought into the government. We need to study what they are doing and what are the implications of their functioning on the society at large, and more particularly the poorer sections of our community. In our neoliberal system of governance, bureaucracy continues to play a very dominant role. Additionally, bureaucracy has to master the art of dealing with the national capitalists, because the state has partnered with the market. They had to also gather the experience of working with the international capitalists, because the state had also started partnering with the international capitalists. The administrative actions under the new context call for critical analysis. This has opened up a new vistas and new linkages which need to be carefully studied and analyzed. This unprecedented administrative environment throws up new challenges to the scholars of public administration like us. Regulatory governance has become a part of our governance system. I recall that possibly in 2019, IJP had published a special issue on regulatory governance. Professor Ambedkar and me had contributed to that special issue. We need to study how these regulatory institutions like Insurance Regulatory Authority, like the Telecom Regulatory Authority, like the Electricity Regulatory Authority are working, what are the implications of their functioning on the common people, and protective organizations too at consumers, because in this neoliberal state, citizens are not regarded as citizens. We are customers, we are consumers. Therefore, there has been a changing role of the citizens because we are treated as customers. Then, in this role, customers have also organized themselves under different customers groups, and we need to study them to find out what is the administrative implication of the new forces which have started emerging. The emergence of constitutionally mandated institutions like Panchayati Raj and local self-government in the towns. We have started doing empirical work on what is happening on the ground. Therefore, there is no dearth of work. But I believe personally, having looked at many of the works, because this is the area where I have been working for the last 30 years, that these studies needed to be related to the larger state, that is the Indian state and the state government. Unless and until we can do that, the study will not be able to give us a full-fledged perspective. Attainment of sustainable development goals is being given a lot of importance nowadays. Social and environmental movements are taking place. Grassroots organizations are becoming active. The concept of green development has figured in the agenda, and green tribunal is in place. All these have administrative implications. We need to study them. A close look at the emerging administrative reality tends to indicate clearly that India is currently facing a crisis. On the one hand, we have the externally dictated macroeconomic management. On the other hand, grassroots-inspired microspace development management. This paradox has to be studied. Two kinds of forces unleashed by the emerging dynamics of policy shift seem to be rooted in the deregulation of the macro level and community empowerment and participation at the micro level. Public administration is a practicing enterprise, therefore it has to reckon with sweeping scientific and technological changes, and represented by information and communication technology. We have started doing that, but in this respect I would like to humbly suggest that this information and communication technology has been entering into what is called privacy, and we need to study the impact of this use of technology on privacy, because that is our fundamental right. There is a demand. I have been arguing for the last 3 years in different international seminars that we need to have a third-world perspective on comparative public administration. Comparative public administration was given farewell by the American scholars when that was not necessary, according to their ideological agenda. Now they have again started giving importance to that since 1990s, when new public management came into being. Now time has come for us to develop our, comparative public administration, keeping in mind the South Asian or Asian reality. And fortunately, now SAGE and Routledge have started publishing books on South Asia and Asia. We need to study them. We need to develop our conceptual framework out of these studies, and that is how we can develop what is called new comparative public administration based on South Asian experience or Asian experience. I will now be coming, I think, throat is no longer permitting me. I have started making use of my throat to the best of its capacity. Therefore, I have to stop here. But before I stop, I would like to argue that instead of dancing to the tune of the state, we need to conduct empirical researches to help the state correct its policies and programs, and to develop new conceptual frameworks and perspective for studying the emerging situations. This is where the future of public administration in our country, according to my perception, seems to lie. This is how we can unlock the treasury for what is we call the reinventing public administration in the context of our situation. The professional associations like Nepasi General Secretary is sitting on the dais now, may act as a sort of a catalyst by playing a proactive role in sensitizing the community of scholars about the issues which call for academic attention. In the globalized world, they need to work with similar global and region-specific professional associations. I know of 3 region-specific professional associations in Asia. I was a member for 2 terms of the Asian Association of Public Administration. Then another one is there, that is called Eastern Regional Organization of Public Administration, Europa. Then of late we have set up in Bangladesh a new South Asian organization, we call it SHANPA, South Asia Network for Public Administration. I would request Nepasi to get in touch with them so that we can share our findings with them, we can receive feedback from them, and we can have webinar discussions out of which we can develop new perspectives for understanding our situation. There are quite a few NGOs in our country. They are doing excellent research work. I don't know how many of us have connections with the NGOs. Fortunately, I have the opportunity of working with this country's best NGO, research NGO called Participated Research in Asia, located in Delhi. And I have seen how effective, useful, vibrant research work they carried out over the last 2-3 decades. The person who was heading it was an IIT engineer and IIM graduate. Therefore, he had combined the quality of an engineer as well as the quality of a management student. And we need to interact with them, and we have to realize that the funds from the ICSSR would be coming down unless and until the policy of the government undergoes a change. Because social science continues to be of less importance to the policy makers. Therefore, we have to interact with the policy makers. We have to make them realize, look, social science is important. Therefore, we have to find out from them which areas are important for the government, and we will be working on these areas to help the government. Sometimes we will be criticizing the government if that becomes absolutely necessary, but it is not our task to criticize the government always. Our task is to unearth truth and to make the government realize this is where you are making mistakes and this is how you can correct yourself. With these words, I would like to take leave of you. Thank you very much for giving me patient care.